How's it going, guys? Pleasure here, and we're doing the second palace, which is the Madarame's palace, do the speedrun review. Before we do that, I don't know if you guys actually know the beginning of the story, so let me run back to what happens first before we got to the Kaneshiro palace. What happens was, your character, his name is Ren, basically, I'm not lying to you, that's his actual name in the anime. His name is Ren. So, basically, he gets accused of assault for something that he didn't do, which was, helping out a woman who was getting sexually harassed by a man that I can't name right now because it is a big spoiler and I don't want to get into that right now. Okay, and then he gets arrested, he's on probation, and then he goes to Yogen Shibuya, if I remember correctly, that's in Japan. And then that's how the whole story starts. So, yeah, that's the quick rundown of what happens to Ren, which is our character. Okay, let's get to the speedrun review of Madarame's Palace, because I got all the basic shit out of the way. So, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is gonna be a very quick one, because there's not really much I want to say here. It's the same thing over and over. You just find out who this guy is. He's actually a famous quote-unquote artist, but really what he actually does is abuse as well as plagiarize his students' artwork, even to a point where one of the students, who was his pupil, committed suicide.
Did mention Madarame as well.
I'm one of Madarame's former pupils. He gave me lodging at his home, where I thought only about art. I genuinely wanted to be an artist. There was another pupil as well, a very talented man, multiple years my senior. Obviously, Madarame kept tabs on him. Everything he made was claimed as a Madarame original. He wasn't the only victim, though.
Now, that is very inexcusable. Now, the reason why that we found this out is because we had to go to Mementos, and Mementos is basically everyone's palace, but it's not distorted enough to where it's like a huge fucking adventure just to change one heart. No, this is actually everyone's heart in one place, which is in a subway. And we found this one pupil of Madarame who said that they need to stop Madarame because he actually got one of his pupils to kill himself because he couldn't speak up about it. So yeah, that's why we're against and going after Madarame. Now, one of his final pupils that is still under his control is a man named Yusuke. Yusuke is being abused. His work has been plagiarized. Not plagiarized, but like it was taken credit by Madarame. And there's this painting that was stolen long ago named Sayuri. Sayuri is actually painted by Yusuke's mother, but the mother was actually killed because of a seizure that Madarame could have prevented.
That's when a thought crossed my mind. If I don't call for help and leave her be, I could obtain her painting without any strings attached.
No. You let her die?
She was physically weak. No one would doubt if she just dropped dead because of a seizure. Above all, Yusuke, didn't you think it was odd that I discovered your talent when you were only 3? The reason why I kept you around was to keep you from realizing the truth behind Sayuri.
And Madarame, seeing his mother having a seizure when Yusuke was 3 years old, he decided to let her die instead of, calling for help. And he takes credit for the mother's artwork, which he named Sayuri. And yeah, if this doesn't speak of an evil man in your eyes, I don't know what does, because that to me is very disgusting and horrendous and very irredeemable. Like, this guy is so disrespectful to a point where he took Yusuke under his wing, and when he grew up, being able to hold a paintbrush, he controlled him throughout his life. And that's just terrible. So not only does Yusuke finally realize this, he becomes our next member of the Phantom Thieves as Fox.
finally come to your senses. How foolishly you averted your eyes from the truth. A deplorable imitation indeed. Best you part from that aspect of yourself. Let us now forge a contract. I am thou, thou art I. The world is filled with both beauty and vice. It is time you teach people which is which.
Very well. Come. Goemon! A breathtaking sight.
And to me, I think Yusuke is pretty cool. I don't want to get to him yet. I want to get to him as well as this palace are more a bit detailed when we get to, what is it called? When we get to the final review of all the palaces in a rank. Okay, so Madarame's palace is different because of the will seeds and whatnot, but we got them all. And basically, his final boss is the same thing except for the final part of Madarame's final boss. I actually do like this a whole lot, and it does, go into detail of how much of a fake artist that he is, to a point where he would actually make clones of himself, which in my ad, he made clones of the Sayori paintings to make more money and to get more famous over a scandal that he created. So he will make elemental versions of himself like ice, wind, fire, and other types of elements that are in this. And I'm gonna be honest, it took me 3 tries, if I believe correctly, to beat him. But after I got a little bit under control, think about what's going on, I finally got to beat Madarame. And yeah, Madarame also speaks of a man with a black mask, and that gives us more of a mystery of who is this person with a black mask that is also going through these palaces. And this guy with a black mask is apparently not a good person. So this is actually where it adds who is this person with the black mask. And if you don't remember correctly from my live stream, our character gets sold out by one of our members. So this actually gives you guys, if you want to find out who is the traitor in our, in our group. I'm not gonna tell the names yet until we get everyone of the fan base into one group, and I'll say the names and you have to find out who it is and whatnot. Okay, so after we get to Madarame's palace and we beat him, we leave his palace, and I had to spend my days, just building on my confidence, my social stats and whatnot. And then we get to the final day, which is where his art exhibit would take place, and we see that he has finally confessed to his sins and said that he will turn himself in, and that is the end of Madarame's arc. And we will later on get to the next arc, if I believe correctly, will be the Kaneshiro's arc. And in my opinion, is one of the coolest arc, but it's also one of the weakest in my opinion. I will get to that later on when we get to not only this review of Kaneshiro's palace, but also in my ranking for all the palaces that are in this game of Persona 5 Royal. And that's it. That's all I have for the speedrun review. I do like doing this kind of thing. Again, I'm pretty sure my mic is not good. I apologize. I don't know what else to do. I'll try to buy a better mic later on if I have the time to. No idea. So yeah. I do like doing this kind of idea of speedrunning the review of just every palaces that is in Persona 5 Royal. And I will get into more detail about every palaces as well as what I did throughout the palaces rundown and what the runtime that I did. And it might be a long video, it might be not, it depends on how I, rank these palaces and what I did throughout the time of me beating them and waiting for the countdown to go to last. So yeah, that's all I had to say. Make sure you like and subscribe if you don't feel like doing so, that's fine by me. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.